Today we want to talk about how to build a cohesive music department. What does it mean to be cohesive? A few words: tied together, undivided, or united, or unified. In establishing a spiritually cohesive music department, I thought about four different things. I want to talk about unity of spirit, relationship, the importance of saying thank you, and I'll give you some gifting ideas. The word unity. I thought about in order to establish a unified spirit, several things. I always like to go to the scripture, and Ephesians 4:3 says, "Keep yourselves united in the spirit." And it's in another version it says, "Make every effort to keep yourselves united in the spirit, binding yourselves together with peace." The way to develop unity of spirit is to spend time in corporate prayer. We always talk about praying together, and the more you pray together, the better things will be. We also want to be protective of those persons who are in the music department. Don't allow people to gossip about your fellow choir members. That's very important. It's a very chronic problem in churches and in the choir. We also want to practice patience with one another. Everyone's different. We must realize that no one will always please us. They may not do things quite the way we might do it, and they may not act quite the way you would act. But we must practice a level of patience and tolerance with others without compromising what is right. We want to do all things in love. Even if you have to rebuke someone, do it in love. Next, we want to talk about building a relationship. Hebrews 13:1 says, "Let brotherly love continue." How do we do that? We must realize we are brothers and sisters in the faith. It's been said so many times, the family that prays together stays together. Just as I said before, you must pray together. It's important that your music department spends quality time together, doing other things such as group things like an outing or a dinner, things just to fellowship together. In any relationship, you got to spend some time together. They want to do something other than have rehearsal all the time. And also in any relationship, you got to realize that you got to be able to communicate. Good communication requires one person listening, the other one speaking. Then the other one that was speaking will listen, and the first one will also speak. You have to do this on all parts. It's never one-sided. You must do something to communicate. You might, if you can't speak, you got to write, you got to do something. Check on your choir members also. This is another way. You got to check on them to see how they're doing, not just to tell them about a choir rehearsal or some kind of business activity or something that you have to do. They like to know that they are relevant to you. Check on them. See if somebody didn't make it to rehearsal. Check on them to see if they're sick or something to that effect. The next thing we want to talk about is the importance of the words thank you. Ephesians 1:16 says, "I do not cease to give thanks for you." This was Paul speaking to, I believe, the Ephesians. We must always show gratitude. A simple thank you can go a long way. When people work hard, sometimes they just like hearing the words thank you. Sometimes that could be more than money. People like to feel appreciated. They like to know that what they're doing does not go unnoticed. Find more tangible ways to show gratitude as well. Give public awards to your people. And you might even write thank you notes to your choir members in your own handwriting. Sometimes that's very special to people that you would take the time to do that. And that goes right along with my next suggestion, to give some gifts. And there are certain gifting ideas. I'm just going to give you a couple. One is you may make some handmade gifts. You don't want to give gifts that are tacky and that kind of thing, but give them something homemade. And many people will think that's much more personal. And it's not tacky to do it. It's a very personal thing you can do. If you're good at cooking, make some tasty treat for them. You can also search the internet for great gifts that are very inexpensive. Finally, I'll say, even if you have to discipline, do it in love. You can be firm, but still do whatever you do with the element of love, with that ingredient. That's an important ingredient in anything that you do. Keep a good connection with God also. Spend your time just by you and God. Just spend time with God and no one else. Praying, asking Him for things that you can do. Asking for His guidance. Read His Word and He'll give you guidance in all things. There's a lot in His Word. You will have a healthy and cohesive music department if you just follow this little brief information that I've given you. Thanks.